What if I told you that one of the most important men in my dating history was a guy I never wanted to see again after 3 hours? Not because he was a criminal, not because he catfished me, not because he sent me unsolicited pictures of his nether regions. No. This man taught me four foundational lessons that would save me years of frustration, awkwardness, and emotional wear and tear. His contribution to science was involuntary. His methods were terrible, but his educational value, immaculate. Welcome to All the Men I've Swiped Before, the podcast where modern dating becomes a case file. I'm your host, Swiped Out. Each episode, we open the dating Pokédex, examine a new specimen from the wilds of online dating, identify distinguishing characteristics, review observed behaviors, and extract whatever wisdom survived the encounter. Today's entry, Handsy Jew. Classification, boundary ignorer. Primary attack, unwanted physical contact. Secondary attack, assumed intimacy. Special ability, missing every social cue within a 5-mile radius. Let's open the file. When I first downloaded dating apps in 2017, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. None. Zero. I had been married. I'd been in a long-term relationship. I had never dated in the digital Hunger Games. No one handed me a field guide. No one explained that there were catfish, commitment phobes, married men, situationships, ethical non-monogamous, unethical non-monogamous, and people who apparently believed personal boundaries were merely a fun suggestion. I was out there like a pioneer woman crossing the Oregon Trail, armed with nothing but optimism and a profile picture. One Saturday morning, I was at a car wash. As my car drifted through the soap tunnel, I opened Tinder and started swiping. That's when I came across Handsy Jew. On paper, excellent candidate. He was educated. He had a good job. He was never married, had no children. We seemed politically compatible. He was spiritual. And he had actual photographs, which is a surprisingly high bar as it turns out. I wasn't wildly excited, but I wasn't opposed either. So I swiped right. Instant match. And before my car could hit the dryer fan's message, that man moved with the urgency of a toddler who had just discovered scissors. You're very alluring. Now, listen, I was new. I didn't know the rules, and alluring hit me right in my vocabulary loving heart. A few messages later, he asked for my phone number, and I gave it to him. Now, please note, future swiped out would eventually look back on this moment the same way people look at security footage before a disaster. He immediately called. I was standing in a vacuum bay trying to clean out my car, and I asked if I could call him back. No, I'd really like to talk to you now. Red flag number one, floated on by. But I ignored it because I was still under the influence of optimism. We talked for a bit. He seemed pleasant enough. Then he invited me on a date. That day, not next week, not tomorrow, in a few hours. He wanted to do a street fair, dinner, and dancing. An entire trilogy of events. I was startled. Who plans a 3-act romantic production for a woman he matched with 30 minutes ago? But I was determined to push myself outside my comfort zone. So I said yes. And thus began the first official field expedition of my online dating career. A quick lunch, a shower, and some primping later, I arrived to our meeting location. I was immediately filled with butterflies and nerves. I had alternative rock blasting through my speakers, which was the emotional support soundtrack of the day. I stepped out of my car, and there he was. He looked like his photos. Victory. No catfish. But then he smiled. Now, I'm not proud of this, but everyone has a thing, and mine happens to be teeth. Now, they don't have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but there are limits. And unfortunately, his smile instantly vaporized any possibility of attraction. I tried to remain open-minded, but the universe laughed. Because almost immediately, Hansy started trying to hold my hand, put his arm around me, touch me, guide me, claim me, like he had accidentally mistaken our first date for our 10th anniversary. I spent the next hour moving around him like I was avoiding laser beams in a spy movie. Then came the antique store. I found a bracelet flask that had recently gone viral, and naturally I picked it up because I am exactly who I am. He insisted on buying it repeatedly, firmly, almost aggressively. I declined because accepting gifts from a man I had known for 45 minutes seemed in poor taste, bad form. It was like I was accepting sponsorship from a corporation I didn't trust. We moved on. Then his hand found my back pocket. On date one, I informed him that if he wished to keep possession of that hand, it should be removed immediately. Miraculously, he complied. Then we visited an art gallery where he introduced me to the owners as his girlfriend. I corrected him so quickly I nearly achieved time travel. No, 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 no. We are on a date. Singular. Uno, a sample size of exactly one. At this point, my internal emergency management system had activated. I wanted out. I went to the bathroom and I texted my teenage son, "This date sucks. Call me and tell me you need me." His response? Laughing emojis. No phone call, nothing. Apparently, he thought I was joking. Parenting note: always establish emergency extraction protocols before entering the dating wilderness. I was on my own, so I created a migraine, an Oscar worthy migraine. I had wet paper towels draped across my head and neck, smudged makeup, slow walking, weak voice, true method acting. I emerged from the restroom looking like a woman moments away from hospitalization. Most people would end the date. Normal people would end the date. But Handsy suggested another art gallery. I couldn't believe it. I was practically reenacting a medical drama, and he was worried about admission tickets. Finally, I realized I had lost, and I insisted that I needed to leave. He was annoyed, not concerned, annoyed. And that's when something clicked. This really wasn't about me. It was about what he wanted from me. My comfort didn't matter. My boundaries didn't matter. My headache didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was his agenda. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. He finally walked me back to my car. I thanked him politely because my Southern upbringing is much stronger than my survival instincts. He opened my car door and I started to get in. And he said, "You know what I keep thinking about?" I made the mistake of asking, "How good of a kisser you probably are." Before I could react, this man leaned into my car, buckled my seatbelt, trapped me, and kissed me. Y'all, I cannot adequately describe the level of alarm I had. I shoved him away. He interpreted this not as rejection, but as enthusiasm. Then he started talking about our next date. Sir, there will be no next date. We are not compatible. And I told him so. I closed the door, locked it, and drove away. I stopped by a gas station on the way home where I promptly blocked his number and unmatched him on the apps. Case closed. So here are my sweet tea lessons learned. Every episode ends with sweet tea lessons, the wisdom I earned so you don't have to earn it yourself. Sweet tea lesson number one: if someone's pace makes you uncomfortable even before the first date, pay attention. Excitement and pressure are not the same thing. Sweet tea lesson number two: don't hand out your phone number like Halloween candy. The app has messaging for a reason. Use it. Or even better, get a Google number if they're pressuring you to get off the apps. Sweet tea lesson number three: always, always establish an emergency extraction team. Your children need training. Your friends need instructions. Someone should understand the assignment. And sweet tea lesson number four: your comfort zone isn't always about fear. Sometimes it's wisdom wearing sensible shoes. Sometimes your intuition isn't trying to hold you back. It's trying to keep you safe. I'm adding this one to the Pokédex. Entry number 001, Handsy Jew, boundary ignorer, rarely spotted respecting personal space, known for premature assumptions of intimacy. Can be defeated using direct communication, locked car doors, and the block feature. Join me next time when we investigate another fascinating creature from the online dating ecosystem. Trust me, the next file somehow gets weirder. Until then, keep swiping.